do not New York my Florida. So I just happened to run across an article that says the exodus continues as more than 10,000 New Yorkers have moved to Florida in 2023. Now, I did a recent video on this channel about people leaving and moving away from South Florida, and it made me think of articles that I've seen in the past about how bad Florida sucks, including this one, which is written by the same outlet that wrote the first article I showed you, and it says Florida sucks and you'll be back in 5 years. So if you're asking yourself, if Florida sucks so bad, then why are so many people moving here? And if you have plans on moving here, is that really a good idea? So stick around. Today in this video, we're gonna break it all down. Is Florida really that bad? And what are the reasons you should not move to the state of Florida? Hey guys, it's Robert. Welcome to my channel all about real estate and living here in South Florida. And it would mean a great deal to me if you subscribe to the channel. Give it a thumbs up. It helps with the YouTube algorithm, helps the channel grow. I would really appreciate it. And to show you my appreciation, here is a beautiful picture of a praying mantis. Also, I'm a licensed real estate agent. If you have any questions about South Florida in general, looking to buy or sell a house, whether it's 3 days from now, 3 months from now, or even a year from now, all my information is down below. Reach out anytime. I'd be happy to help you get the process started. And without further ado, let's dive into today's video. So I was born and raised in New York, and I've lived here in Florida going on 20 years. Now, a lot of people really like what's happening here in Florida. You may disagree or not. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion. But looking at the articles, it kind of made me laugh a bit, because a lot of the people that are saying that Florida sucks so bad are the ones that are actually moving here. So what is going on with that? And what are the reasons that people say Florida is so terrible? Now let's start out with reason number one, and that is don't New York my Florida. Now this is a saying that is going around for the last several years. It seems like the states out there that have a lot of inbound migration, like Texas, Florida, have a similar saying. I think Texas is don't California my Texas. A lot of people are moving to Texas from California. We have a lot of people coming here from New York, New Jersey, and the Northeast. And people that are local or have been here for a while just don't get why people from New York and New Jersey and California kind of trash the state of Florida. Now, the people that are moving here for a reason. They're moving here because there's less restrictions. It's more business friendly. Florida is more tax friendly, and there's just more freedom in general. Now, the reason Florida is the way it is because people voted for it. So locals here are concerned that people are going to move here and actually vote for the same types of policies that produce results that they don't like, and they want to leave states that have them. So let's just say Floridians don't get it. Now, this is not political. This is just reality. If you vote a certain way and it produces certain results, you either like it or you don't. So Florida leans conservative politically right now. So they value traditional beliefs. They advocate for personal freedom without imposing their beliefs on others, and that's the way they like it. So if that's not something you're into, maybe you should not move to the state of Florida. Now, the second reason you might not want to move to the state of Florida is the cost of living, which is at an all-time high. So just to give you an idea of how expensive it is here in South Florida, and I'm not even going to talk about buying a home. Let's talk about renting. So this article here from Yahoo shows how much money you would need to afford the average rent here in South Florida. So renters in South Florida need to make over $100,000 in order to rent comfortably in the Tri-County area, which is really Miami, Broward, and Palm Beach counties. In order to avoid paying more than 30% of their income toward rent, the average household would need to make at least a yearly income of about $112,000 to afford the typical rent in South Florida. Now, the good news is that rents are coming down, but they're at an all-time high. And this is not only a Florida thing, guys. This is across the nation. Rent prices and housing prices are more expensive everywhere. It just so happens that South Florida and Florida in general are one of the states that things are going up, more than other places, but still, if you look at it overall, still less expensive than New York. Now, as far as home prices when it comes to affordability, you can see that Florida has the highest two-year rise in home costs. They rose significantly, 35.16%, the highest increase on the East Coast, but also you can see these other counties. other states. I'm sorry, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Maine is number 5. New Hampshire, Delaware, even New Jersey, a place where people are leaving in droves, has gone up significantly, 17.79%. So again, just to reiterate my point, housing costs are going up considerably everywhere. Now, the weather is another huge reason why you might not want to move to the state of Florida. So hurricanes is one. Every year, June through November, we have hurricanes. That is not going to change anytime soon. We've been very lucky in the area of South Florida, but there is always that chance. Flooding. Not really an issue unless we're having a major storm. This year we did have a pretty significant flooding in Fort Lauderdale. I'm constantly asked this by people that are reaching out lately about flooding or if this area floods. It's not really normal. That was an anomaly. That's the flooding this year. The storm dumped a massive amount of water in a 24-hour period. I think it was more than it has in the last 1,000 or 10,000 years. Don't quote me on that. But a lot of people are asking about it, so you might have to deal with that as well. Extreme heat, big subject right now. A lot of people talking about it. We are in the middle of a heat wave. Florida is always hot. It just seems a little bit hotter right now. Temperature is the same as it always is in the summer. Mid-90s. I guess they're saying the heat index is much more. I can't tell the difference, quite honestly. It's always hot to me here in the summer. And a lot of other people, like we're talking about, that talk about how Florida sucks so bad, are convinced that Florida is sinking and eventually will be underwater. So don't know how true that is, but you are entitled to believe whatever you would like to believe. But if you are one of those people that is worried about all this types of weather and you think Florida sucks and you would never want to move here and advocate that no one should ever live in this state because of the weather, then my advice is not to move to the state of Florida if you're concerned about these weather issues. The next reason would have to be the population or the population growth. So Florida is the 3rd most populous state in the country, and it's just it's exploding more and more every single year. So a lot of people are not too thrilled about that, and this is another reason why people are talking about how bad Florida is and not to move here. So we've seen explosive growth, especially in the last several years. This year's kind of slowed down a little bit as compared to 2022, but population is a big topic right now. A lot of locals are talking about how crowded things seem, especially with the construction going on, the building going on. There's rental complexes popping up all over the place. So this is another article where developers from Manhattan are taking advantage of the explosive growth in Florida. Now you can see this article is very recent, just came out this month, August 11th. The mad dash to South Florida by Manhattan real estate players. So the big names behind soaring Manhattan and Brooklyn towers are rushing to build waterfront condos and, yes, office buildings in the Sunshine State. In 2021 and 2022, real estate firms poured $34.2 and $29.2 billion respectively into the 3 counties that make up the southeastern edge of the state, which is the Miami tri-state area, Miami, Broward, and Palm Beach. Those annual tallies are higher than any year of the previous decade, and they're likely record-setting according to data by MSCI Real Assets. So the moral to the story, guys, Florida is getting more and more populous all the time. And again, we're talking about all these people moving into the state. It's only getting worse and worse. So if you're not into a very populous state, or you're worried about overcrowding, maybe you should put it off and not move to the state of Florida. Next, guys, has to be allergies. If you suffer from allergies, you might want to rethink your plans on moving to Florida, because you're probably going to have a hard time. Florida, there's always stuff growing. There's more time of the year where things grow, so your allergies are probably going to be worse than if you're coming from a state that actually has a winter. So really, living here in Florida, every season is allergy season. Summertime is no joke. I had my sister-in-law was just here last week. She had a rough time when it comes to allergies. I was giving her Benadryl all week. She got bit by something as well, which is another story, but she is someone that suffers from allergies. She's from Canada, so she had a very rough time. So if you're someone that, has to worry about seasonal allergies, expect to deal with that all year long here in the state of Florida. And that's going to bring me on to my last thing on the list, and that is the bugs and the critters. So Florida is known for our wildlife, and the first question I get from people that are usually relocating is, do I have to worry about gators? And the answer to that is pretty much yes and no. It's kind of rare to see one, but if you have water or you like having water behind your house, always keep in mind there could be a gator in the canal or the lake, whatever it is. Everything is connected underground, so there's always that chance. It's not very common, but you will see a story here and there about something happening. I mean, really, all of South Florida in general is built on the alligator territory. It's all swampland, so there's always a chance that they're around. Add to that our wonderful palmetto bugs, which are flying cockroaches that are about an inch long. All the other critters, spiders, we have mosquitoes, not any worse than any other place. Some people might say that they are. I don't think that's true. So snakes is another thing I get asked about. Some people read about the python problem we have here in Florida. I think it got really bad from a hurricane. Somebody might have had them as a pet or a pet store, and they got let loose and they just breed like crazy. And as if things could not get any worse for the state of Florida, we have a new invasive species that could be very, very dangerous. And these are the very, very aggressive bunny rabbits running loose throughout Fort Lauderdale. So you thought I was joking? No, I'm being honest. So Florida homeowners face a new invasive species, bunnies. A backyard breeder freed domesticated rabbits a few years ago, and a growing area in Fort Lauderdale is dealing with the fast breeding bunny colonies. So there is an effort going on right now to raise at least $20,000 to $40,000 that it would cost to pay for the capture, the neuter, vaccinate, shelter, and then give away the estimated 60 to 100 lionhead bunnies now populating an area called Janata Isles, an 81 home community in Wilton Manor. So if Florida didn't suck that bad, now we're being run over by invasive rabbits. All right, guys, there you have it. Some reasons why you should absolutely not move to the state of Florida. I hope this video was helpful and gave you some information you need to make your decision whether you want to move here or not. If you have any plans on coming to Florida, I'm a licensed real estate agent and would love to be your real estate resource of choice. All you got to do is reach out at the information below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can to help you with your plans. Until the next time, guys, I'll see you on the next video. Thank you so much for watching.